Create something that you love. I think one of the hardest things that entrepreneurs have to figure out when they're creating their products or services is that intersection of creating something that they really love and also creating something that other people will love. And listen to the feedback from the market, but also not just blindly accepting it and also creating something that you absolutely love and you genuinely believe in. I think too many entrepreneurs just chase opportunity. They're just listening to what people are saying, like, oh, you should do this, or they pick up the Entrepreneur magazine, top hottest jobs, top 100 hottest businesses to start, and they go in there because they see an opportunity. But because they don't love it, because they're not passionate about it, then it never takes off, it never goes anywhere. And so I look at this YouTube channel as an example, right? You look at the Espresso series, the top 10 series, they're all requests. Like, you guys are asking me to do the next person, and then I always contribute what I can, and I pick the messages that I like. So it's a combination of what you like and what I like, and I'm proud of every video that I make. I will not release videos on this channel that I don't love. And I've told my team, we've held back some videos. We haven't launched on certain days, even though we have a schedule, unless I love the video that's going up. And so striking that balance is super, super important as an entrepreneur. How I bring this to the book, this is the book update video. Last week I was talking about test, test, test. We're testing our subtitles. My publisher didn't like my initial subtitle for the book and suggested a few alternatives that I didn't like. So I said, you know what? We're gonna test it. And I sent out 6 subtitles to my 30 people who read the first draft of my book. I had my initial subtitle, I had a new alternative that I wrote, I had a subtitle from my editor, from my publisher, 1 from my agent, and 2 from my team, people who helped me create the book. The #1 title that came back so far is the alternative version that I wrote. The #2 title that came back so far was the original title that I wrote, and then the other ones are ones that they wrote. Now that's not to say like, I know everything and I'm the best and you know your product best and you have to, just only listen to yourself and not listen to the market. The reason why I wanted to test it was to get feedback from the market, to see what people thought, because I would need to combine what I love plus what the market wants, and that's what's going to create, ideally, the best subtitle, the best title, the best product, the best service. Now, I can't lie that I'm happy that my 2 titles are #1 and 2. I didn't tell people when I sent it out, who picked what title. But when I looked at my title, I thought, I want to create something that I'm really proud of. I want to create something that if I picked up, then I would want to read it. I didn't just mail it in, or I didn't just delegate it and say, hey, you 5 people come up with a title. I wanted it to be something that I genuinely loved. Of all of them, I love my alternative version the best, and that's what's leading right now. It'll be pretty embarrassing if it all turns around and that doesn't win, but it's pretty far ahead, so I'm pretty solid in that recommendation. So I think just combining those things, right? Making sure that you love the final product. You're not shipping something out. You're not creating a video. You're not creating a service. You're not creating a product that is below your standards, that is below you loving. You say no to opportunities that come in because you can't service them well enough or you're not passionate about it. But at the same time, listening to what people are saying and trying to service them and try to help them. When you can embrace that, the genius of that, and then you have the roots of a really successful business. Let's get to your questions. First up, RSW24 from Twitter. Hi, Evan. A quick question about publishing ebooks. I'm looking to get into the publishing business soon, and it will have a $3,000 budget to work with. I wanted to get some pointers and advice for you on where and how I should spend the money. That's an interesting question. I hate spending money again until I'm making money. I would probably release some mini ebooks first, start making some money from that, and then pour that into new ebooks to continue to kind of feed the beast and feed the machine instead of dropping $3K out of my wallet to start to do it. I think it depends on what your skill sets are. Like going with this plan of spending $3,000. One of the things that I found really helpful is having a team to help me create my book. So you might need somebody to help you do the background research for the book. You might need somebody to do transcribing of interviews for your book. You might need somebody to help you edit it and put it together, depending on your skills. Like if you love how you write, you're a really strong writer, you don't need any editing, which is really rare, but maybe you're that person, then you don't need to spend on an editor. If you're not, then you should have somebody look it over and give you some feedback. I think the most important thing you can do is create a product that people will love. Create a product that people will want to talk about, create a product that people want to share. If I had $3,000, I would invest it into the product. If I look at where I spent money on my book, I went to travel to go talk to people to interview for the book. That was money that I spent out of the advance to go meet people because I cared about the quality of the information going in. I hired somebody to help me edit the book and sit in with me on all the interviews and transcribe the interviews and make sense of, a 4-hour, 5-hour interview and condense that down into, a few pages worth of content. That's where I've spent the money on the book, and I think it's the highest leverage because you can spend money on marketing, but if the book itself is not fantastic, it's not going to help you. On the marketing side, I would look at using influencers more than any kind of advertising program. I try to get into the media. I try to get in front of influencers, but it doesn't have to cost you anything. Like if you have a message that is valuable, that means something, that makes people excited, then they'll be interested enough to just look at it. And if I had $3,000, I'd invest it into the product itself to make it awesome. Next up, Relaxing Sleep Station. Love the channel, your visions and goals. Thank you, Relaxing Sleep Station. What advice would you offer to someone with a chronic illness that can limit their productive time to as little as an hour a day? I've started a bootstrap business with a friend who shares my goals for the business and what we're trying to achieve. I see outsourcing as a major factor in the future, but to begin with, that will be very difficult. What suggestions would you make as far as how I can continue to be a productive entrepreneur where I can be so significantly limited by the time I have available to be productive? Great question, and not to diminish the importance of the question, but we're all limited. We all have these things that hold us back. We never feel like it's the right time to launch a business. Oh, I'm married, I can't afford to do this. Or I'm living on my own, I can't afford to do this. Or I have kids now, I can't afford to do this. It's too risky, I don't have enough time. I'm pulled in a million different directions. Or someone in my family is sick. Or I'm sick. Or there's all these reasons, right? There's all these reasons for how you can't be successful. Start focusing on the ones that you can be successful. Start focusing on your time not being the limiting factor, but when I have my 1 hour, this is how I'm going to spend it. This is how I'm going to be productive. I can still be successful and productive in the time that I have and focus on the opportunities and not the limitations, because there's going to be infinite number of limitations that will hold you back, where the successful entrepreneurs are the ones who do what they can with what they have. If I had an hour a day, I would, one, make sure that I'm using that hour a day every single day. Too many entrepreneurs mail it in. It's like, oh, it's Saturday. I don't need to work on this. Or, it's such a nice day outside. I'm going to go for a walk on my 1 hour. Or, the Blue Jays are in the playoffs. I'm going to go watch that game. Or I really want to see the new League of Legends patch that came out, so I'm going to play that game. You need to spend an hour every day on your business. If you spend an hour every single day on your business with all of the life issues that you have going on, you would be ahead of a lot of people. I'm being honest. A lot of people will work, a full day and then not work for a while or move on and test different side projects and just give up on their idea. So it's being consistent with that time every single day. Then the next step I'd be looking at is how can I make sure that the time that I'm spending is of the highest value? Because when you start a business, you're everything from the CEO to the janitor, and you want to spend as much time as kind of CEO as possible, thinking about what's the highest leverage that I bring. I used to walk to my office every morning and think, what is the most valuable thing I can do in my business today, and try to do that first. And yes, there are things that have to get done in the company, and ideally, at a later time, you can outsource them. Not feasible at the start when you don't have a budget. But making sure that you are spending CEO time consistently, that you're spending time on things that you can potentially be one of the best in the world at, because that's what's going to help drive your business far forward. Not doing the little tasks that you are not fantastic at, that really should be the responsibility of other people, or maybe you don't do at all at the start. So consistency, using that time every day. 2, seeing it not as a limitation, but an opportunity. And then 3, focusing that time to do high value, high leverage tasks for your business. Alamal Beauty writes in, this might sound stupid, but I don't know what his book is about. I haven't seen the reset of other episodes. I haven't talked about what the book is about yet. I've kind of alluded to it a few times. I'm still waiting on kind of the go-ahead from the publisher. Once I get into marketing mode, we're going to focus on that. We're close, I promise you. I'm so excited to be able to eventually talk about this. The final copy is with the publisher being edited. We're going back and forth, got to figure out permissions, a whole bunch of things. And once that's done, I can be in marketing mode. I can talk as much as I want about it, I hope. And so as soon as it happens, you guys will be the first to know, I promise. Thank you for the question, the love, the curiosity. It's coming, I promise. I know it's a long wait, but it's coming. Simeon, great video as always. I really enjoy watching you. Thanks, man. You're such an inspiring person. I've searched for a while, but I couldn't find your email or any contacts. Is there a way to get in touch with you personally? Thank you once again for the great work you do. You just did, man. Next time, this is a super important lesson. The next time you want to get in front of somebody, make sure you have a message that they can respond to. You just reached me. I'm responding to you, but I don't know what you need help with. You give me zero context, and so I can't help you right now where other people are answering their questions. And so when you are reaching out and trying to get help and trying to, introduce yourself to somebody, make sure you give them some context so they can actually give you some advice. Alice Hardy, what do you think of multi-level marketing or network marketing? Alice, not really a topic for this book, but I've talked about it also a few times on my channel. It's just a business model. And there's nothing inherently wrong with the business model. I think a reason why a lot of people look down on it is people don't get the results that they're looking for. And by the way, welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. Most people who start a business don't end up being successful either. I think people pitch it too much as a money-making opportunity, and anytime you hear just a get-rich-quick scheme, you need to run the other way. I think too many times people are promoting products that they don't use themselves, that they have no story attached to, that they're just trying to go out and promote, and you cannot effectively sell a product that you don't believe in. If you are not willing to recommend the product or service that you're selling to your mother, and you're not willing to use it yourself and tell your personal story, and you're not deeply and emotionally attached to what you're creating, then move on to something else. So there's nothing inherently wrong with network marketing, multi-level marketing. It's just that a lot of the people who jump into it, do it for the wrong reasons. Where if you look at the ones who are the most successful, they're the ones who do have that storytelling attached to it. They do have the deep emotional connection to the products or services that they're creating. So it's just a business model. And there's nothing inherently wrong with any business model. It's much more about the emotional connection you have to what you're selling. Luis, in my opinion, the best legit motivation entrepreneurship channel. Congrats, all the Believe team from Portugal. I appreciate that, Luis. Much love from Canada. Paul Chan, great work, and we'll have 50+ interesting sections. We'll buy this book when it comes out. Thanks. I appreciate that, Paul. I'll let you know when pre-orders come out. We're looking at December 6th release date, but I don't know exactly when pre-orders will open up. Ricardo, hey Evan, will the book be available in audio? Yes, I announced that a number of episodes ago. We got approved to have an audio version and a deluxe ebook version, which is not standard for first-time authors, so I'm super excited about that. And as I also mentioned, I'm going to be fighting hard to be the one who reads it, because I don't think anybody could read it like I could read it, because it's my words. And I feel like you should have that same attachment to your product or service. Like nobody could do it. If you wrote a book, like you want to be the one to read it. I don't see why the publisher would not want to have me read it. I feel like a lot of authors just mail it in and they don't want to put the time and effort into making a really good audio version. So yes, there's going to be one. It's going to be me. I'm going to fight tooth and nail to make it happen. And I appreciate the question. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to know what you think about the topic of making sure that you love the product that you're creating. Also, if you have a question about my book or the book writing process that I can help answer for you in a future video, leave it in the comments below and I'll make sure to answer you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Continue to believe, and I'll see you soon.